Welcome to the Inspire Your Event podcast, where we look at unique ideas, solutions to common problems, and speak with amazing professionals in the wedding and event industry. My name is Kevin Snow, owner of Events by Snow DJ Entertainment and 12 Oak Estate Wedding and Special Event Venue. Be sure to follow Events by Snow and 12 Oak Estate on Instagram, and let's have an inspired event. Hey folks, welcome to the Inspire Your Event podcast. My name is Kevin Snow, and I'm sitting here with Bobby Kotlowski.
Hi.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. On the USS Yorktown. And this is such an interesting space for events. I think it's a very iconic landmark here in Charleston, South Carolina, but who knew that you can rent this entire ship?
You can.
Have a multitude of different types of events on here, and it's beautiful. This is the Thomas Cooper River Bridge right outside here. The water, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
We came here a couple weeks ago with the wedding venue owners working vacation with Dee Dee Russell, the wedding nerd, and we got to meet Bobby, and we loved the place. So, Bobby, I think I remember everybody who works on the ship is some way affiliated, military or volunteers.
Yeah, a lot of our employees are former military. Some of them have even retired from the military, like myself. We're all state employees. We're employees with the state of South Carolina. We are part of what they call the Patriots Point Development Authority, and which encompasses not only the Yorktown, but the other two ships, the Laffey and the Clamacor, but the property surrounding this space. We lease property to the College of Charleston, to the Charleston Marina and Hotel, as well as the golf course, and a couple of other little places as well. So that's how we kind of we draw revenue from that. So
I would like to know. You mentioned you're military retired.
Yes.
How you went from that, you stayed in the military,
yeah,
but you got into the event business. So
what's
that story?
Well, I started when I was in the Marine Corps. I was a sergeant major, and I was like the senior enlisted advisor to the commanding officer. The only event experience that I had was setting up Marine Corps balls for my regiment. So when I came on board, my former boss here said, you used to do those Marine Corps balls, and I go, yes, sir. And he says, you're going to be my new events guy. But I didn't go into it blindly. I went around into the event community here in Charleston, and I had a lot of people help me and supported me in getting the experience that I needed to conduct the events aboard the ship.
Yeah, because I'm assuming it's a little bit different doing these events than it is to the balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So how long has this been operating as a venue?
The ship first came to Charleston in 1975, and I would say they have been conducting events aboard the Yorktown probably since the late 70s, early 80s, but certainly not on the scale we are now.
Yeah. I think it's just such a fun idea, because obviously this is a museum now. You can come and take tours, and then to have parties here. I've been in the wedding industry for about 10 years. I DJ events before I opened up a venue, but I've seen a lot of venues.
Yeah,
I see a lot of things that look remotely similar to each other.
Yeah, and
then boom, you have something like this. So very clever, unique idea to have parties on here. And the photos that I've seen, because obviously, look at this, you got airplanes and all sorts of just really incredible things that you don't typically see at a venue. And it's just, the photos are stunning. This place looks beautiful. You pull the curtains and the drapes around and everything, right?
You can light it all up.
Yeah.
You can light the outside up. We've had people do laser shows on the ship.
Oh, nice.
Inside and out. And it's an unusual venue, and surprisingly, believe it or not, that the majority of the events that we do on the ship are not military related. We don't have some retired guy coming on board the ship or his daughter's coming on the ship for a wedding. A lot of people just like the view, and they like the unusual venue.
Yeah. So those folks, where are most of them? I'm sure you've got some local people or a lot of destination weddings coming here.
Yes, absolutely. Our wedding business has increased about 25%. We have had a huge increase in the number of weddings, wedding rehearsal parties, wedding receptions. It's really grown a lot.
Let's take a look at my list here. So it's a Monday right now, and you said you're kind of already swarmed with events. It's the beginning of the week.
For August, we're very we're really picking up a lot, and I think a lot of that has to do with COVID. We've had 65% of our events rescheduled. We lost about 35% due to COVID, but we kept 65%, and I think we're experiencing what every other venue in Charleston is experiencing. All the people who rescheduled got all the prime dates. So all the people who were planning on doing something in 2021 or 2022, all of a sudden they don't have anywhere to go.
That's right.
It's really, really tough. It's a challenge. And for us, we're already booking into 2024.
I'm experiencing the same thing in Columbia, and I think that, I mean, I'm sure to anyone who's listening to this, if you're getting married and you're running into these issues, it's probably happening wherever people are doing that. We were kind of fortunate with my venue because we were newer, so we had more dates available. Sure. But I can only imagine some places that were already pretty booked up, moving all of that forward. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now the current couples are kind of left with like everything's already booked. And we do have a few inquiries for 24. A lot of 23s, surprisingly, but a few 24s.
Well, we're trying to accommodate them, and we've made some suggestions to them. We said, well, look, would you consider a weekday? I know that's not optimal. But would you consider a weekday or possibly even a Sunday? Because Friday and Saturdays, those are the days.
That's right.
And if you there's only 52 weeks in a year, and then you've got some holidays thrown in there too. So let's just say you're talking about 40. You're talking about 40 good weekends that could do events.
Right. You're speaking, I say this all the time because I'm like, our days are inventory, and depending on how the year falls, you've got Christmas hitting on Saturdays, which means New Year's is Saturday, and the 4th of July weekend and Thanksgiving's near a Saturday, so most people aren't doing and it's just like, there's only so many days that you can choose from.
Yeah, and we can do multiple events on the ship. Let's just say here we are in Hangar Bay 3, we can do an event for, say, 500 people, but we could also do an event down in Hangar Bay 1 for about 125. Now, having said that, you do run into some complications, noise. There's a band down there, there's a DJ down there. It can get a little challenging, but if we explain it to the client, they may consider that. And it can be done. We try not to do that, but we sometimes run into a situation where we have a client who really needs that date. And we're going to help them in any way we can.
Sure. I feel like if I was one of the couples, I would just try to become best friends with the other couple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
so it's going to be one big giant party.
It's like here on Hangar Bay 3, like we have the space back there, which is the fantail. Now, we wouldn't do an event on the fantail and one in here. It's just too close. But we might be able to do something on the flight deck.
Oh, say you could go upstairs.
And work from there. So we're very flexible here. We are extremely flexible.
So, I looked in renting out the entire ship. The cost for that.
It's a little over $15,000.
But that's amazing.
Yeah, in this town, it's amazing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
In this town, it's amazing.
That's just incredible. Like, that's so neat.
Now, one of the things that makes people want to come here is that unlike some other venues in Charleston, we don't charge that client that extra hourly charge that they may acquire somewhere else. Like, say, the Jones family's having a wedding, and we rent our venues in 4-hour increments. Usually after we close, 6:30 to 10:30. Now, let's just say the Jones family wants to come in here at 2 o'clock and decorate. We're not going to charge them an extra 4 hours. We're not going to do that. And that's one of the incentives we have here. to get a client on board the ship. I mean, it's not hurting us,
Right.
but a lot of people are trying to get that additional revenue stream, and that's okay. But we don't do that.
Yeah. Well, some of these venues that only operate as venues, they've got their they have to bring the staff in early.
Yes.
And some things of that nature. Whereas it sounds like does the catering take place? Do they have outside caterers come
Yes,
in?
we have 9 caterers that are vetted by us to serve on the ship.
Right.
They're some of the better caterers in Charleston, and they come aboard. We have a little kitchen for them to use. They can set up a kitchen for cooking because we can't use propane on the interior of the ship. So we'll set up something on the aft end, on the fantail, or one of the sponsons. They'll set up and they'll have a prep kitchen right off of Hangar Bay 3 where they can prepare salads and cold items. We have a heater in there, a refrigerator in there. There's water and an ice machine. So when they come on board, they can feel very comfortable in setting up for an event.
Yeah. So being here in Charleston, having amazing catering, have you been featured in magazines? Has a TV show come through here or anything?
Oh my
like
goodness.
that?
We have been in numerous magazines over the years. We've been on the Travel Channel, the Food Network. We've had Andrew Zimmer here. We've had the people from the Travel Channel who do the haunted ships and all that. And we've had the Cooking Channel, the Food Channel. Yeah, they've all been here. At some point in time, they've all been here. They all come to the Yorktown,
Next time someone asks that question, you say, we've been on the Inspire Your Event podcast.
Yeah, I will.
Right.
And we have done a lot of movies here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've been doing movies on the Yorktown since 1943.
Super cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We
just did a Christmas movie here last September. For the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, okay. Have they released it?
It's already been released.
Okay.
They showed it over Christmas.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep.
I'll have to.
The USS Christmas. That was the name of it.
The USS Christmas.
That was the name of it.
That's so cool.
And we're getting ready to do some more filming here.
And there's it's kind of a big film industry down here in Charleston. Too. So man, it's just like all the stars aligned right here.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful, and like there's so many cool opportunities and fun things. So with all of this that's going on, what's one of the most memorable, like a wedding or a corporate event or something that took place here that you're like, that was amazing?
We are closely connected with the Medal of Honor Society, and we have conducted several events on the ship for them. And to have all those recipients of the Medal of Honor here has been a real privilege and an honor for me personally. We have had some very large events aboard the ship, like New Year's Eve. Of course, and every year we do the July 4th celebration here on the ship. Now, because of COVID this year, we didn't do it on the ship, but we had over 20,000 people on shore watching the fireworks that we had in the harbor.
I was actually here for that. I saw it. It was nice.
Yeah. And that's become somewhat of a tradition over here in Mount Pleasant, and everybody seems to they seem to be part of it. Everybody sort of sets up their little parties around the harbor, and they all get it from us. It's all part of what we do here.
Do folks ever shoot off fireworks just at their wedding? Yes,
actually. For a while there, we can do some landside fireworks certainly on a smaller scale. We have done that in the past where they've used our parking lot, and it has to be a smaller setup because certainly not on the scale of what we had on July 4th because of the debris field, and of course we've got a hotel and a marina next door. We have to be careful.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
So, in terms of how about here, like in this room? I see you got a stage over there. Typically have bands, DJs, a mixture of both,
Yeah, bands and DJs. We have the ability to have AV aboard the ship. But most of the time, that's just for our own support. But we give our clients access to other vendors who historically have conducted numerous events on the ship. So if they want to do PowerPoint presentation for a sales meeting or something like that, we can set them in the right direction, just like we do with catering.
Yeah. Does anything stand out in your mind that it's happened in here? It doesn't have to necessarily be like a bad or something bad or awful that happened, but it was just like that just jumps out at you. Any memories?
You mean something positive?
Yeah, sure. Positive's good. I say it doesn't have to be, the cake fell over or anything like that, but
Well, actually, I could tell you a quick story about that. We did 4 weddings here, probably, it was October of 2013, I think. And the bride, as many brides do, seemed to take control of what's going on. And this particular bride was sort of like wanting to have her hands in everything. And she actually picked up the wedding cake herself. So she went down, and the lady from the bakery met her on the pier. Of course, we had all the cameras here from the Learning Channel, I think it was. And she got a cart, and the cake was probably 8 tiers. And she was going to bring it and transfer it into the refrigeration unit in the kitchen. And apparently she got a cell phone call. And she wasn't paying attention. It was a beautiful cake, one of the most beautiful cakes I'd ever seen in my life. And she's walking with the cake and pushing and talking on the phone, and all of a sudden she hit the wall. And because of the heat, the humidity in the air, the cake collapsed. At that point, I sort of like walked away and left her to her own devices. But I did connect her back up with the caterer, and they were able to work something out for her.
They kind of like reshaped it.
They reshaped it, and I think they spread it out over a couple of trays. But that was one that I'm always going to remember.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, man.
I saw a cake get destroyed actually at my very first wedding, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was fortunately way on the other side of the room, and I'm like, I've been paranoid about cakes ever since that first one. I was like, I don't want to set up near the cake, anything.
It's sort of like watching a train wreck happen. It's coming, and you can't do a thing about it.
And it's just
Well, she was, needless to say, she wasn't happy.
I'll say if she was like she was, yeah,
yeah,
that would have.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, it was a big one.
So just for me personally, knowing this space and like coming, like where do your vendors load, or what are the big challenges here?
Load in is a big challenge.
I had a feeling that might be.
So our guys here at the Yorktown have repurposed a number of elevators on the ship. Now, keep in mind that this ship decommissioned in 1970, and the ship has numerous elevators for the aircraft, for bombs, and we have one elevator forward that we could bring things up from this level, from the hangar bay level, to the flight deck. But they rebuilt one of the smaller elevators, which is very close to the big elevator, and now our vendors can bring their food items on, use that elevator safely, and not have to carry that food or those hot boxes on the passenger elevator. It's absolutely astonishing. I mean, the guys that did that, the operations guys, the welders, the mechanics, the electricians, they're outstanding, and they have done a great service to this ship by repurposing this equipment that has been out of commission all those years.
Yeah. See, and for me, like when I DJ, I always for sure forget like one thing in my van.
Yeah.
But I guess I could take the stairs at that point. If it was elevator only and like you're having to wait on the elevator, or do you like kind of step
Well, it's sort of like, in the past, the vendors, in some cases, except for the stuff they brought in earlier, like tables and chairs, that sort of thing,
right,
all the food stuff had to been either carried up the stairs or they have to use the passenger elevator. And in the busy season like it is now, they sometimes have to wait, and they have a timeline, and they're trying to adhere to it. Having that elevator now has actually streamlined our operation, and I think most of the caterers have really embraced it. I mean, they really have, and it's been really, really helpful for us, because there was a time when we didn't even have a passenger elevator on the ship. So that created its own set of problems back in the day. So, but it's getting stuff on the ship is probably the biggest challenge. We have plenty of power. We have professional electricians here that help with events, and we have a great support team here.
Well, it's definitely a good operation. Like I really just what's
yeah, they got a ship going by right now.
Like,
yeah,
it's just incredible. Just in closing here, Bob, tell us how many events you do a year or anything interesting like that.
Yeah, well, we did have about 22 venues. We're down to about 15 now. We could do multiple events on the same day, or one in the afternoon, one in the evening. We have conducted up to 350 events pre-COVID, and we expect to surpass that in the next couple of years.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's almost one a day.
That's
and
I don't know how.
We have a very small staff,
right?
But they're very professional, and they're hardworking, and they're here to help.
But yeah, that's just so impressive.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, there's obviously you're wanting more people to come in.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep this. You want to do more. So where can they find you? Like, I'm sure they can just Google the USS Yorktown.
Yeah, they could go. They could reach out patriotspoint.org.
Okay.
Or if they want to get information about a specific event, where they want to do an event, they just go events@patriotspoint.org, or go to our website. It has all the information they need, and then we'll send them a price list, a catering list, availability if we get a date from them, and we can go from there.
Well, that's hopefully someone will hear this and get inspired to come check this out and tell their friends about it, because I think it's such a cool place, and I really really appreciate you meeting with us.
Yeah,
today.
Man, happy to do it. Come back anytime.
Bobby Kotlowski.
That's right.
Kotlowski.
Bobby That's
Kotlowski.
right.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate it, Bobby.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Inspire Your Event podcast. Like, subscribe, be a part of the inspiration to change the way the world parties. Let's get out there and do this. No more cookie cutter weddings. Visit eventsbysnow.com for more information.